Good evening. Welcome to 5 Minutes and Cut. I'm Delvin Sadler.
Highly enlightened.
Alright, coming like a slow today. Why? You bleached last night.
Yeah.
You're coming like you're still asleep.
Yeah, I am.
You're still
I
asleep.
am.
Alright, so let's see if we can wake you up. Highly enlightened. So knowledge base is away. But the highly enlightened is here to light the place because we've got interesting topics today. So we're gonna get right into today's show. So first of all, highly enlightened. Alright. This was a rebuttal from the People Nation. They sent in. Remember we did that show about interracial adapting, right?
Yes, I remember.
So from that, one of the People Nation persons sent in asking us, what about same-sex couples? What is your opinion on same-sex couples adopting?
My stance would be, as long as it's from a place of love, like I had said previously when we were talking about the interracial, as long as it's not a puppy show thing, like you're doing it not from the right intentions, because at the end of the day, there are couples that are man and female and male, and they aren't providing good homes for children. So those factors, I don't think is not my area of concern. My concern would be that the child would be going from somewhere that's obviously not good for them to somewhere that is better for them.
So you believe that they should be allowed to adapt as long as the home is
the home is good, they're able to provide, and like they're like just the same procedures that a man and woman couple would go through, the same checks that they have to get, like
right.
No preference and no easy avenue should be given to them because of their special circumstance or whatever, like like no quotas to be met, that kind of thing, like they need to have all the visits, have all the checks done, meet the requirements just the same, like.
Okay, so let me ask you this now. Would you be okay with two men adopting a little girl baby?
Yeah.
You'll be okay with that?
Yeah, because I feel like you're asking that because you're like it's because of like the idea around the men and the female child, but like I like I said, if they're vetted and they're checked, and like I don't think that's a problem.
It's not a problem, right? All right, so let me ask again. All right, what about say homosexuality, right? So you're living that kind of a lifestyle. Do you think that this is a learned behavior, or that the child would pick up, or is it just you were born that way, so there's no issue in the child picking that up or adapting that because they see their parents that way?
Okay, so I feel like because they see their parents living that way, that child is going to have questions earlier on than like somebody who is just getting introduced to it from like an external source. Like the whole nurture versus nature debate is like there's no definitive facts on either way, because you have one side of those spectrums that's saying that these people are born this way,
right,
and you have the others that are saying that this is a learned environment. At the end of the day, like I think
it's what's best for the child.
It's what's best for the child, and obviously like that child is going to have questions, whether it's where's my mommy, where's my daddy, and
right.
So earlier on that conversation is going to be had, but I don't necessarily think that just because a same-sex couple is the adoptive parents that necessarily equates to the child going to walk down that avenue in life.
Yeah, fair enough, and I fully agree with you 100%. Highly enlightened, yes, because
that's our first.
I personally seen same-sex couples, because we're public people, right?
Yeah.
So I've seen same-sex couples with kids, and the love that they show, different old people had so much love.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, that's I feel the same way. Like,
yeah, because the kids are don't even realize that, you know what, this is not the traditional couple. They see them as their parents, and it's nice, and I don't have a problem with it. If you have a problem with it, I mean, why?
Yes, that's based on fact and not just emotion or your personal. Because like, if you're saying that your issue is with it just because of you personally are against it, like that's nonsense.
That's not called for.
Yeah.
You have to look at the home itself.
Right.
And I think that social workers do follow up with these kind of families, just like every other family.
And exactly.
So I don't see, if there was an issue, then they wouldn't deal
be
with it.
putting children in that kind of dynamic.
Right. So
as long as they're held to the same regard that like the
like
other
everybody
couples,
else.
yeah, then it's no different. At the end of the day, it's just the betterment for the child.
As far as if it's a learned behavior or they were born that way, I personally believe they were born that way. You know what I mean? Because I remember growing up with some people that has, you know, feminine side men, and I grew up and see them that way from a child. So I can understand that it's possible that they were born that way. I don't have any scientific proof.
Yeah.
But if they say that they were born that way, who am I to say?
Right, so I agree.
They were not.
I agree with if they say they were born that way, like I'm not gonna go and beat that drum and say, but to say I believe that they are born that way, that for me is still up in the air, because I need some tangible proof, evidence, scientific
But
backing.
you can't get that though.
Right, because like how I can
You
say,
just have to take their word for it.
and you know, I'll let that word exist, but like that I can't say like I believe, because I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know.
But they're good people.
Oh,
I've never met a bad homosexual or a bad lesbian.
I'm not gonna go so far and say that.
I've never seen one.
Okay, so again, I've had different experiences.
Oh, you are?
Oh, yeah. Because here's the thing though, like I feel like maybe now it's a little better, but like when they were first getting all the publicity and you know they were doing their rebellion stuff, like I just felt like
they were a little bit pushy.
Yeah, and like
defensive.
Right, and like I remember in my high school, I had a teacher who was a lesbian, and in our drama class, she wanted us to play same-sex partners.
Roles?
Yeah, and I was like, nah, I'm not down for that.
Oh.
And she kicked me out the class. She kicked me out the class and told the principal that I could not come back to class until I wrote her an apology.
Yeah. So it was you didn't want to dramatize that behavior.
I just was like, I'm not comfortable.
Yeah,
I'm like, and I feel like that should be respected, just like you want to be respected for who you are.
Even though it's role playing.
It's role playing that I'm not comfortable with. At the time this was like just coming out of I don't know, and
maybe if it's now you probably would.
No, I'm not gonna lie and say I'm gonna role play like that. That's not for me. But like but at the end of the day, like they're still people, and as long as like
they're very good people.
Respect me and I'll respect you, and at the end of the day, like who is that prime minister? I think it's Elliot Trudeau who said like, yo, the government has no place in the people that bedroom. It's the same thing. As long as when we go out on the road and we're existing in society together, you're respectful to me, I'm respectful to you, we keep it moving.
But I'd like to see like kids that grown up under this kind of parenting. What do they have to say? You know, I've never gone and researched that anything like that to see what the kids, how they turned out, and what they have to say about that.
Well, my friend went well, I guess she's my friend now, so I'll say my friend.
Yeah.
Her parents are a lesbian couple.
Right.
And she's not lesbian.
Yeah.
She like.
Yeah.
She's just like, she has two moms and like they're
cool.
badass. That's exactly how she describes them.
That's
so again.
What do you need more than that?
Yeah. So I don't, you know, she's a good person. She's very kind. She's involved in the community. I'm not saying that her parents are like their dynamic is directly what affected that, but you can see that she came from this household and she's a great citizen.
Yes. Yeah. And that's what you want.
Yes.
Yes. So
great citizen.
See, what more than that you need? The Highly Enlightened gave you facts, and I agree with that. Let love flow. let's move on to the next question. Yes, Highly Enlightened, let's move on. And this one is going to get a nice little debate. I can guarantee that.
Oh, joy.
Colin Kaepernick. When you hear that name, you know what it's synonymous to. It's kneeling. Yes. Colin Kaepernick plays football in the NFL, and he decided to start a protest. Yes, he started by sitting down during the national anthem until he met a Navy SEAL who said, "You're disrespecting by sitting down." When he explained to the Navy SEAL that the reason why he's sitting down is to protest police shooting against minority. The Navy SEAL says, "Well, instead of sitting down, why don't you take a knee?" That is more respectable to him if he take a knee than sitting down. So Colin Kaepernick started sitting down through the national anthem. However, last week things wrapped up. Colin Kaepernick no longer in the NFL. Now Donald Trump waiting, saying, "These sons of bitches should be fired by the NFL." Well, knowledge base, media uproar, friends and friends debating this issue. Knowledge base is not here. The Enlightened is. What's your take on this situation?
So, first of all, anything that Donald Trump says, oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah. So I feel like Donald Trump doesn't know what he's talking about. He has no place to comment on this dynamic for the fact that basically he's disregarding what Kaepernick is saying as invaluable, like it's nonsense, and like that automatically there blows my bubble. Just because, so I get why some people would be upset about him kneeling or sitting during that national anthem, saying like it's not patriotic and it's disrespectful. But on the flip side, okay, so you have a country that benefited on the backs of these minorities that are being hunted in the street like dogs, and you're going to turn around and tell a member of the minority group that no, you should still have respect for this country and its anthem. I feel like you're like that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. And then like I was watching one of the news conferences where I don't know their names, but there was a lady and a gentleman, and they said that, you know, the football field is not the place for Kaepernick and the other players to protest. They should do this on their own time. And like, to me, that was the funniest thing ever, because like the whole idea of protesting is so that you get the attention of the public. And what better way than, because these guys are football players, that's what they're known for, they're famous for, they have a large audience because they're football players. So that is the right time to do it. And I like, they absolutely should protest.
Okay, Highly Enlightened, I disagree.
I know you do.
100%. And I'm going to tell you why I disagree. How long have you been standing for the national anthem? Or do you stand for the national anthem?
Yeah.
You do, right? Since you're a little bit, you understand that you need to stand for the national anthem.
I understand that I was told to stand for the national anthem, yes.
Do you know why they tell you to stand?
Probably because it's been their ID deem it to be respectful.
I know. You know that every country in the world, you stand for the national anthem.
Of course,
it's just a symbol of pride and respect to those who have fallen, so that you can actually have freedom and liberty. So,
freedom and liberty. Yeah, okay.
Freedom and liberty, yes.
Yeah, I'm just going to air quote that, but go ahead.
Okay. So, I've been standing since I'm a child for the national anthem. And I understand why we do it. I also understand the protest thing. But this is what I say to you, Highly Enlightened. In your job, would you actually take a knee when you hear the national anthem in your uniform?
Well, it depends on what time. If for example, in the dynamic that Kaepernick is doing it, if that is my drive, yeah. What? Because the first thing, okay, so nobody, like, look at all these people that are minorities in all these highly publicized positions, and like on social media they'll say, yeah, pro this, pro that, but like they ain't doing nothing.
They don't do anything.
So when he did something, everybody's now talking about
All right. So what I'm asking you is this, right? All right. Is he representing himself in the uniform, or is he representing his team?
A little bit of both. It's both. Obviously, his team, his uniform is recognizable, but like him as a, because even when they talk about him, what are some of the things they're always talking about before he cut his hair? They're talking about his hair.
Okay.
So it's both. Like they're not separating him from his team, and I don't feel like they have to. At the end of the day, the individual, wears this uniform, so that is part of him, and he feels disrespected.
So even though he's been contracted to play and to wear that uniform and to represent a city and the league,
so basically
he should be protesting on their platform and not his own?
So because what's his own?
What I mean is that
without the uniform,
without
is that
the
what you're
uniform,
saying?
yes.
Okay, so you're saying, so because he's been contracted and he plays for this football team, that he no longer is a person that has feelings, has thoughts, has emotions, and has a passion for something that is wrong and continues to be wrong, and the justice system in America is doing nothing about the wrong, so all of that should be disregarded because now he's somebody's puppet because he plays.
Alright, this is my point to you, right? Alright. How many black on black violence do you see committed in America?
A lot.
Isn't that something to protest?
Of course.
Why isn't he kneeling for that?
I feel I don't know why he's not kneeling for that. I'm not disregarding that.
Yes.
But what I feel is important and continues to slip through the cracks when it comes to America is the fact that police are exterminating black people and they're getting away with it
at a rate quicker than how we are doing it to ourselves.
Right, and okay, so just like you mentioned Kaepernick in his uniform, the police are in uniform. They're part of the city. They're there to protect the city, all members of the city, and they're not doing that.
Okay, valid point. But my point to you is this. I believe if you want to highlight that, you also need to highlight the other side as well. If he's going to say he's going to protest like that.
No, because I'm not disregarding the role that the other side plays, but he does not have to protest. That's not what his attention is for. I don't feel like he's necessarily mandated to draw that in. I'm not saying that isn't something that needs to be discussed, but if I'm writing an article and my sole article is to prove one point, yes, I can mention, but I don't need to focus. That is there on its own. Somebody else can take up that one. Right now, I need you to pay attention to the fact that, you know what, people are dropping like flies at the hands of the police, and that ain't cool. Why are they consistently going to court and the justice system is letting them up? Why are they allowed to do that? You have all these recordings that show the way that these people are killing black people. Like what more? What more?
Right.
What more? You say, you know what, don't take the law into your own hands. Okay, so we go through the process, you have the evidence is there, it's unrefutable, and yet still these people are walking away without charges. They're keeping their jobs, they're keeping their badges, they're keeping their guns, they're still getting paid. That don't make no sense.
Alright, so you believe that during the national anthem, it's appropriate to do that?
I feel that his choice was the right choice to make because it has got the attention that is warranted. Like,
all right.
I'm not saying that solves the problem.
Right.
And I'm not saying that we're near to finding a solution.
Right.
But what I'm saying is that there's talks There's, you know, you can
It starts dialogue.
you feel that, like, because like it just doesn't make sense.
Because Hiighly Enlightened.
If not during the national anthem,
Yeah.
because obviously the national anthem is making people feel away.
Right.
They're getting all these emotions by him doing it. When would be another time that's going to get the same kind of emotion, whether it's good or bad? But what other time will get you angry, even though you're angry for a different reason?
Mm-hmm.
Because whether you want to or not, the fact that you're angry, you now have to listen. You're listening.
Right. How about doing the game? You take a delay of game penalty to say, yeah, I'm now kneeling during this time. Delay of game. Cost my team points. Cost my team 10 yards.
It's not the same magnitude.
Cost my team 10 yards.
It's not the same magnitude.
Of course it would.
No.
It would.
No.
It cost my team 10 yards.
Right.
Maybe you'll hit the bench as a result of it.
Okay, but look at this. Okay, so say now I don't care about football.
Listen, I don't. Hold on, let me cut you off, man, because I don't agree with it, because the NFL, the ratings for the NFL games are down 11% this year as a result of that.
I mean,
So it's affecting the employer's ability to profit and make money. It's a diminishing return for the league. You think at that expense, it's okay?
you're asking.
Considering you're brought in to make money and to actually make the team win, you become now a distraction. It's okay.
I don't watch football.
Yes.
So
if that was your company, you would be okay with that.
okay, so football, you know, say I play for 10 years and I retire, yeah, the money's good and everything, but like if you...
No, if you were the owner of the team or the league, you'd be okay with...
Well, obviously they're not going to be okay with it, but like, okay, for a revolution to happen, people have to be uncomfortable. Like, you're like, it's like you know, like for change to happen, people are going to have to take losses. There's going to be bloodshed. People are going to be angry. Like those are inevitable.
Wow.
Those are inevitable. Like at the end, it's beyond football, because with the national anthem, people who don't care about football can still be upset about it, or can still now start to listen to what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So him doing it during the anthem, you know, for his purpose is strategically the right move.
Wow, so what about the land of the free and the home of the brave?
That's crap.
Banner represents.
Are you kidding? Are you kidding?
Right just to protest.
Are you kidding?
You're violating the flag.
No, please, a flag that has disenfranchised and taken opportunities from, so like, who does that flag, those words in that anthem, who is that?
So what about those people who died for the flag?
I'm not discounting them, but also in the people
I think he is discounting.
No, because also in the people that have died for the flag are minorities. How many minorities were enlisted and went and fought wars in another country and come back to their country and are living like paupers?
Point taken.
Look at what Muhammad Ali said. He's like, when they, you know, he made this comment like, he ain't doing nothing for no country that ain't doing nothing for its brothers, like that. And that was way back when he said that. So like don't, like, I just feel like for you to automatically say, well, you know, you're living in America and, like, you know, you have it better than other people. Okay, yes, I may have it better than other people, but the way it is isn't right.
So the consumers, they're booing this kind of behavior by the players who are doing this. What do you think of the consumers not accepting this kind of a practice?
Because they're like, I don't know. I don't know.
You're representing them, you know.
Who's representing?
Kaepernick and all of these people who are taking the knee. They're representing the people who are booing. They don't want this.
Yeah, because it's interrupting. It interrupts what they're there for. Their game.
No, not only that, they see it disrespectful to the flag.
Of course, a lot of people are going to see that as disrespectful. But okay, what about the people that feel like, you know, a man sitting in his car getting shot, killed in front of their child and their girlfriend? That ain't what about the people who feel like that's disrespectful? And then the cop gets away.
Right. So
are you kidding?
What I'm saying to you, that people do come out and protest these things. Isn't that the place for it?
What harm is he doing to anybody? What harm? Because okay, all right. You see, when, for example,
it's causing ratings to drop.
that's not like I don't when I on the magnitude scale of harm like that's not up there. Ratings dropping.
Yeah.
I get it financially that affects people, but like when we're talking about harm, that's not up there.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like people are like to preach this whole regimen of you're disrespecting and you're not being patriotic, and I feel like he is somebody who's well woke and he's aware of what that flag means and how that flag has represented him and minorities,
mm-hmm.
and they've realized that like they're not included in this all-American dream. That's how they feel, and I don't feel like he should be penalized for feeling that way.
If you poll most black people, people of the darker hue, they will be in support of him. And if you poll a lot of white people, they will be in support of standing for the national anthem. Why do you think this divide comes about?
Okay, wait. So let me wait. So you say if you poll most black people,
yes,
or people of the darker hue, they'll
yes,
be in favor of Kaepernick.
Yes.
But if you poll the Caucasian people, they'll be in favor of standing for the flag.
Right.
Well, duh. Yeah. Like because what are they suffering? Or what?
Mm-hmm.
The very thing that Kaepernick is protesting does not affect them, and they do not see as a problem.
Right.
So for them, this man is disrespecting their flag for their great American country, and sullying their sport thing. Like so, for that, like they see no point, and obviously,
yeah,
it does not directly affect them. But now, should cops be killing them?
right.
Like I feel like somebody's gonna chip up and say, hey, now we got a problem.
All right. The reason why I asked that, could it be that the powers that be are trying to start a racial war amongst us?
I don't think a racial war ever ended. The difference was it got covered up by other things,
mm-hmm.
because racism has always and still exists,
right,
in America and Canada too, but
right.
in America. And I feel like as the generations changed, so you had like the generation that was like definitely out there spoken with it and was gonna fight the power and all that, and then it like died down to like this more docile, go with the flow kind of,
mm-hmm.
and then now we're seeing that we're going back into that wave where people are fed up and they're no longer talking, they're doing.
Right.
So like it's like that.
Because the rich, the top 1-2%, they are getting richer. The middle class is shrinking and the poor is getting poorer.
Yeah.
So if we fight each other as blacks and whites, all they do is just laugh at us killing each other, while they sit in France or sit in Switzerland with their money and they just keep getting richer and richer off by us selling us bullets and guns and all of these things. So if they instigate a fight amongst us, then they win and we lose. But how about us getting together? How about us working together? How about us understanding each other? Wouldn't that be better? We can get to that place, can't we?
I mean, like, I feel like that's like a thought that like I mean, like, I don't feel like we'll get to that place in my lifetime.
No. I saw your friends. You have a very diverse friendship base. What do you mean?
Right, because that's my generation. That's like we. Like basically,
So when the other generation dead off,
these old people that have these, they need like.
They need to die quick.
But realistically, because like I saw something on the internet the other day, and like it's saying like basically like racism isn't, we aren't born with it, it's taught.
Right.
And like my friends are the ones teaching it, but like they tell me things that their parents tell them.
Right, but they're not listening.
Yeah, they're not listening.
Right.
But it's like those ones with that ideology and mind frame.
So basically what you're saying to me, Hiighly, like, you see the light at the end of the tunnel, don't you? Chop it out box.
No. What I'm saying is I can see the tunnel. I can see the tunnel. So
Yeah.
you know, so maybe well, we need more than baby steps, but baby steps.
Because my friends are diverse,
Right.
and we talk like brothers,
Mhm.
black, white, whatever,
Mhm.
Indian, whatever, Chinese. I don't see any difference between me and them, and they don't see any difference between me and you.
Mhm.
And likewise, I see your friends.
Mhm.
At one point, it wasn't like this.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, and when I was growing up in the 80s,
Mhm.
early 90s, I didn't see that, but I see it now in the late 90s, 2000.
Mhm.
Something is happening, and there's something that happening in America that even white people now are coming to protest for us. You don't see that on TV?
Yes, I do see it. Okay, so when you mention that, like, it irks. It's okay. It's like one of those things that's like,
What?
I just feel like
You have to give credit where credit
I
is due.
definitely, I definitely, for sure.
They don't want to go backwards.
No, what I'm trying to say is, like, when I watch the news coverage and they're talking about these protests that the Caucasian people are there, or
Yeah.
it's like they're being praised for doing
For taking a stand?
we're doing what is
For
essentially
taking a-
right.
Rightfully so.
So you feel like they deserve to be praised? Like,
No, it's not. They're not praising themselves.
no, I'm not saying
It's
the
the
people.
media who's doing it.
But yeah,
They know
wrong.
what they're doing. They're political media.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Like,
But you can't hold these people hostage because of the political media. They're politicizing it, right? But the people are there because they don't want to go back. You have to give them credit.
I definitely respect their presence and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we should be
But-
going out there even more.
Who's we?
We as the darker you should be going
Should
out
be
and
going where?
representing more. In
Right, and you notice every time that there's like, even if it's a peaceful black protest,
Yeah.
you see SWAT show up and I'm like, okay, like
Yeah.
that for me, it's like, okay, bro, like I'm not trying to leave my house to get bounced around by just because the potential possible danger that exists by a group of black people getting rowdy.
Alright, I don't believe in the SWAT, but a lot of these protests turns out with a lot of looting and
Right.
all of these things.
Right.
You understand? So
Right.
maybe the police presence is not to basically shoot the protesters, but to protect the businesses and stuff forth.
Okay. I just feel like, okay, I would need to see something concrete to convince me otherwise that they don't go with a predetermined mentality to such events where black people are gathered.
But I've seen those protests where man start shot the police. You never seen that on TV? Where shots fire from building, blah, 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 police.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
no, actually, no, I lied, I did
Yeah,
see one.
that happened.
Blood is gonna be shed.
No, no blood should be shed.
You're right.
No blood.
You're right. Of course, ultimately, no blood should be shed. But in the reality that America is currently existing, on both sides, blood will be shed. I'm not saying that's right. Don't get me wrong. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying to ignore that reality is like you're closing yourself off.
All right. So how do we bridge the gap now, Alien Land? How do we bridge the gap as far as, you know what, respecting the anthem, but yet still protest, and also to deal with the issues?
That's like such a heavy question. Yeah, I feel like that's a very heavy question because first thing is acknowledgement. Like, okay, so you feel enraged that he is doing this during the anthem. How about I take 2 steps back and acknowledge what he is trying to have acknowledged? Again, I'm not saying whether or not the anthem is the right time to do it, but for his strategic objective, it was the smart way to do it, because whether they like it or not, they're aware of who he is, and
Yeah.
they're aware. So I feel like, you know, the acknowledgement that there is a problem is where it begins. Until the problem is actually said, yeah, okay, this is an issue, like we're just going to keep dancing in circles. They're going to point fingers and say that, you know, these people are ungrateful and they have a country and and these people are going to be like, nah, well, I'm here in this country and I'm treated like crap and I died for this country and y'all ain't respecting that. So it's just going to go back and forth.
Yeah.
It's going to go back and forth.
I agree with you that the acknowledgement that, you know what, these killings must stop is the right approach. But we also need to deal with the problems in the urban areas too, where in these projects where we're killing each other.
Right.
And jobs, employment.
Exactly, jobs, schools. Like every time I turn on the news, a school is being closed in this area. Then a school, you're gonna open a school in an area that's far for them to get to and they can't afford. Like, what do you think? So already from the jump, their employability opportunities are shrunk down because they ain't graduated.
Right.
So like
and
it's
they're
just
not getting proper employment. And they're not being mentored and
right. And then there's like the community centers aren't maintained, they're run down.
Right.
So you know you have 1,000 kids and one basketball for their 1,000 kids to use. Like, so no, I'm not waiting my turn to use that ball. I'm gonna go be whatever on the street. Like it's from the top down. Like these ghettos that are created, these dynamics that are created, like it didn't just happen by accident.
No, it didn't happen. It's political. But what I'm saying to you is that a lot of parents loses kids, and people are killed innocently because
of course
strays and all of these things.
I know a couple.
And even in Jamaica it happens. You know, we need to get rid of these projects, areas, and now focus on human being building. Whether you're of the lighter you and the darker you, everyone deserves equal opportunities.
That I agree
education.
with. That I agree.
And we can
access to education, access to opportunity, access to resources.
I'm not a believer in these project areas and all of these things. I think they should just demolish all of them and just put them in with the regular people. Put them in regular places.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you have a residential area here, drop one or two here. What's wrong with that? Not to have them in a year where
so here's the issue why that's like that's unrealistic. That will probably never happen for the simple fact that the people who are calling the shots know that okay, my house right now is worth $1 million. If I put this housing community next to it, my property value got down.
Not necessarily. No, you don't have to put a housing community there.
No, but
if you have an apartment building, right? A certain amount.
Yeah,
but you don't have to put everybody in the same area
for sure
where they're all grabbing for the same thing.
For sure, but at the end of the day, that would equate to a loss for the ones who are sitting at the top.
Not necessarily, because you are now seeing people who are striving and going places and accomplishing things. That could be an influence to you to say, you know what, instead of going that way, why not go the way that I see this person going? So it could influence change in a lot of us. What do you think?
I mean, maybe. I feel like...
What do you mean? I believe in us.
Sure.
Yeah, I believe in the poor. I believe in people changing, and I believe in great mentors and role models can bring forth changes.
Right, but somebody can have all the ambition in the world and no opportunity and still amount to nothing.
Rightfully so.
And like I feel like that, I mean, like when I think of myself personally growing up, like every odd was stacked against me.
A lot of us.
And like no there was nobody there that made it like any easier.
But your mom was an influence on you.
Right,
based upon how the value she taught you, and also her putting down her foot.
Right, but
so is my mom.
Right, but
my sisters, my brothers.
But this is what I'm saying.
My dad.
My mom could have my mom could have been the most motivating person in the world, but at the end of the day, she could encourage me to go and apply for jobs and but at the end of the day, if I'm not getting hired, what does her motivation equal? It still equals nothing.
Yeah, point taken, but it's, I mean, if you have an education, you still have hope.
Right.
If you have no education.
Right. And even
what hope do you have?
that, like when you think about the education system, like it's trash. Like, I mean, like things that they should be taught, like taxes, like interest, like mortgages, like real things, life skills that are valuable skills are not being taught. Y'all are teaching me about, you know, the angles in a triangle equating to whatever. And I'm like, okay, I would have liked to have known how to do my taxes. I would have liked to have understood the importance of credit. I would have, like, things like that, like real life. I'm not.
You can't knock that, man. That,
You can't
knock geometry. I mean,
man.
this geometry make the stable.
Right, but I'm not a table maker.
That's for you.
But this is what I'm.
But there's other people.
But this is what I'm saying.
Who
This is what
wants
I'm
to be
saying.
table makers?
But I'm saying, realistically, how many table makers does society need?
A lot.
Right, and
How many houses are around?
no, but that's not the only thing.
No, it's not the only thing.
So
And you know that.
to make society
Yeah.
well-rounded,
Right.
they should be teaching, including in the curriculum, real life things that are more than just.
So you didn't get all of that in school?
Definitely not.
I thought I got a lot. Some of it I was not interested in, to
No,
be honest.
definitely not.
So I never, you know.
I know to do my taxes now. Nobody did. I tell myself that.
But you could have taken taxation.
Not in high school. In university,
No,
yes.
No, you could have taken accounting in high school.
No.
And they barely touch on taxation in it. Not in depth, but they did. I did accounting, so they did.
But okay, so when you graduated, you still had grade 13, right?
No, I didn't have grade 13.
Oh.
I just have grade in accounting, just grade.
No. I mean,
11.
okay, what year did you graduate high school?
Early 90s.
Because the curriculum changed when they got rid of the whatever that other year was. So they made it only until grade 12. See that first change, the curriculum took a dip. Every teacher that I've spoken to that has taught prior and before, the curriculum took a dip. And that's what I'm saying. And even now, the curriculum is worse than it was when I was in high school. You have people that are leaving school that are not prepared for the real world. The resources aren't there. The resources aren't there. So unless a teacher or him or herself goes above and beyond what is provided to them, students are leaving not fully prepared. So then it goes back to everything that we're talking about. So now, they're leaving school. Some will graduate, some won't. Some can get a job, some can't. The ones who can't get a job but still want things, they turn to other avenues, whether it be crime, whether it be drugs, and it's just a circle of damned.
All right, so we've gone on long enough on this topic. So, Hiighly Enlightened. So dialogue is the key now, eh?
Yes.
They've started. They've been heard.
Who's the they?
I mean, the protests
Oh.
went on. Now people have heard. The world have heard. And it's very popular out there, is moving on from the protest now to start dialogue, right? For change. And hopefully change will come. What do you say?
That I definitely hope for change.
All right, we're gonna wrap up the show. Yes, Hiighly Enlightened. It's a great show, you'd say.
Yes, it was a good show. More discussion.
Yeah. We could go on and on and on. If I never stop it, we're gonna go on and on.
Go on, yeah.
Because the thing about it is that this protest highlight as big.
It's like the umbrella, and there's like each spoke in the umbrella is something that needs to be touched on.
It needs to be dealt with.
Yeah.
A lot of issue exists in society where racial relations needs to be dealt with appropriately.
Yeah.
Security aspect with the police, you say? Alright, so you'd like to tell the people to like,
subscribe, share, thumbs up this video.
I tell the people, you enjoy the show, right?
Yeah, it's fine.
It's a good show.
Yeah, discussion is always great because if you come in thinking one thing, you hear another person's opinion, it can grow, not saying change. Yes, and that's what's needed on a grander scale.
Because
for society.
You can hear the viewpoint of somebody else.
Another, yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is good. We agree on some things, we disagree on some things, but we learn from each other.
Yeah.
You would say?
Yeah.
Of Definitely.
You enjoy learning from me?
Of course, I've learned so much from you. You know what I mean? Very much. You're a very smart lady. You are knowledge lady. It's thanks to you guys, you know? We've learned from each other. So, people, like, share, subscribe as Hiighly Enlightened. So until next week, peace